Hi guys, this is Maria from Maria's Craft Studio, and today we will be painting a sugar skull wall hanger. This is made out of 1/4 MDF, and I have the wooden cutout shape, and I have a paper template to trace the flowers on top first. I'm just using a regular ink pen, and in the back of that paper template I used a red, not a red chalk, it's like a hot pink chalk in the back of it so I can trace the design onto the wood. Alright. Now that we have the chalk outline, I will now use a fine Sharpie to trace the design again. This helps the pattern to look more sharp when you're painting the flowers on top of this skull. And I'm just wiping off any remaining chalk stains on the wood. Alright, so I'm using acrylic paint. This color is called Indian turquoise, and this is one of the most popular colors that I've used with the majority of the signs that I make. So I'm just putting the first coat of Indian turquoise in our middle flower. This is gonna be a bit of a long video because I want to show you guys how it is from beginning to end when making a sign or a wall hanger or an ornament or whatever item that I'm painting. So right now I'm painting the sides of the flowers. I don't ever paint the back, but the sides I always have to paint. So it just makes the design and the whole outcome of the project look a bit more cleaner and sharper. So now I'm using a hot pink on the bottom flower, and I'm basically doing the same thing. I'm just base coating it, and I believe I'm gonna be doing a second coat of this also on this flower. This is the first time that I painted a sugar skull. I always wanted to do one, but I never really got the chance, but because I'm always kept busy during the year with orders and stuff on Etsy. So this time I decided that I will paint one. This is a small sized wood shape, and I actually can make this bigger or smaller. The biggest signs that we can make is probably about 22 inches. This one I think is only probably 6 inches tall and about 5 inches wide. So now I'm using yellow. This is cadmium yellow, and this yellow is very translucent, so anytime you use yellow on bare wood, it always has this translucent look to it. So I normally do a second or a third coat when using yellow, or I think orange. I do the same thing with orange. Unless I'm able to find a paint that's for multi-surface, then I only do one or two. Alright, so I'm doing the same thing. I'm just painting the sides of the yellow flower. So at this point, I'm gonna let all of these flowers dry before I apply the second coat to them. So now I'm going to paint the skull in white, of course, and I think I may have put too much paint on there, so I will be removing some of that paint. Yeah, that's like a glob of paint right there. So it's easy to do that. You don't have to like panic if that ever happens to you. Just go ahead and use your paintbrush and sweep off the excess paint and just wipe it off onto your plate, and you can use that paint again. This is an Americana brand paint that I'm using, and the color is Snow White. I love this hint of white because it doesn't have that grayish tone to it. Some of the white paints that I've used before have a gray tone, so this one, the Snow White color, is really sharp white, and I like that. So all right, same thing again. We're painting this on bare wood, so the white paint, I may have to do 2 or 3 coats. At this point, I already added the first coat of white, and I'm just letting that dry. And while I'm doing that, I am putting the second coat of yellow on the flower. I'm using a 1/4 inch brush, flat brush. And for the main skull, I used a 1 inch flat brush. This is a very easy project. You don't even have to maybe careful about painting it, because this will still have all kinds of details in the end, so all these little imperfections wouldn't show. Now I'm doing the second coat of white. As you can see, it's starting to look more whiter than the first one. The first coat had a bit of a gray tone to it. I think that happens really. It doesn't matter what kind of white you use. When you're putting it on bare wood, that always happens. So just be patient with letting the first coat dry, then do the second coat and let it dry again, and then get the third one until you get that solid white color that you want on your design. At this time, I will be adding a red tone to this pink flower to give it a little bit of a shade. So I'm using a dark red acrylic paint, and I'm just painting the edges and then the center. This helps to make the flower pop up later when we put the black paint on there to outline it. It gives it a really good clean finish. So I'm going to be doing the same thing on the blue and the yellow one. So now I'm using a darker blue shade, and this is called Ocean Blue, and I'm painting it on top of that Indian turquoise flower. And same thing, we're just doing the edges, and then we're doing the center also. Give it a couple of swirls to make it look like a flower. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can do swirls, you can just do squiggles, whatever. A flower is not hard to paint. Same thing with the yellow. With the yellow, I'm using an orange acrylic paint. And the liner brush that I'm using is I'm actually not using a liner brush. Sorry, this is a round brush. And I don't know what number, but it's not the smallest one that they have. I think it's the middle one. So there you go. So we have those highlighted, and now I'm just going back and doing another coat of white. So we're just letting everything dry. So now I have a round brush once again, and I just dipped this into a slate gray colored acrylic paint, and I'm just painting the edges, giving it a clean outline. Whenever you see a finished wooden door hanger and you're wondering why this thing pops up, why is it so bold, why is it so nice, because the edges are painted, it's detailed, and that's important. You always want to make sure that your project is finished beautifully. Alright, so now I'm painting underneath the flowers also, and I'm still using the slate gray paint. At this point, I'm getting my paper template again, and I'm just going to trace the eyes, their heart-shaped eyes, and the nose, that is a upside down heart. Alright, so now I'm gonna go back using a black acrylic paint marker, and I will outline. I'm sorry, I'm using a Sharpie on there, fine line marker. So I'm just going back to the hearts again, and I'm using that to trace it using that black ink. And this will help when you're painting this with the acrylic black paint. It gives it that sharp edge And to me, that's important. It makes it, like I said, clean and finished looking. All right, so now we're done painting the upside down heart. That is the sugar skull's nose. So now I'm just gonna go and get a black acrylic paint, and I am using I don't know what size flat brush, but I'm going to be using a flat brush. Sorry, this time I'm using a wet paper towel. I'm just wiping off the remnants of the pink chalk before I paint the eyes and the nose in black. So there you go, we have a flat brush, and we're just painting the eyes. I'm being very careful because if you get this black paint smudged on the white surface, it's so hard to get it off. I mean, it stains it. You can put 2 or 3 coats of white paint and then that black ink will still show. So I'm really super careful when I'm doing this. I've made some ornaments before, like a snowman or a Santa ornament, of course, with the beard, and then I would have a red smudge on there, and I'd end up throwing it away because I can never get it to where it was before, the same color tone as the original. So I just throw it away and start over. I hope you're enjoying watching this because I really enjoy painting this sugar skull. And if you feel that this video is long, you can always skip. But like I said, I just want to show you the process from beginning to end. So now we're painting the nose, and it's just an upside down heart, and it's a little bit smaller than the eyes. So there you go. I thought this thing looked really cute, so I might make a bigger one of this to hang on my front door for Halloween. Okay, so now I have this fine line brush, and I just dip this in that black paint, sorry, not black ink. And I am just outlining everything to make the design pop. And as you can see, there it is. There you go, it's come to life. This is one of my favorite parts when painting. Is of course the end when I'm outlining it already, because then I'm almost done. I know that I'm almost finished and I can move on to my next project. Still using the same fine line. I don't know why I keep saying fine line. It's a liner brush. Sorry. It's a liner brush. I think it's a size 1. And I'm using the same thing, and I'm just outlining the edges of this sugar skull. Now I have my, of course, I rinsed out the liner brush. Now I'm using white, and I'm just highlighting everything. The flowers, the squiggles, the swirls, everything on this cute sugar skull. Comment below and let me know what you think of this thing, because like I said, this is the first time that I made this. And for me, I think it turned out pretty cute. So now we're just doing some dip dots. Oh, what do you think? Doesn't she look cute? So now I'm doing the edges also, the edges of the skull. I'm using the same white paint and liner brush, and we are just highlighting the edges of this skull. Now I'm adding a wire, and this is an 18 gauge wire that I'm using. It's heavy enough, but it's not too heavy to where you can't use your wire cutter or your pliers to shape it. We're almost done. So now we're finishing the wire. I mean the hanger. And at this time, I'm just using my acrylic paint marker to highlight the edges of the nose and the eyes to give it a sharp finish. And once we're done with that, this project is all done. Thank you so much for joining me, and watch out for my next projects. I will be uploading another video here in a couple of days, so please comment below, and if you enjoyed this, please subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you, guys.